What's going on? Welcome back to Financial Journey. So today we're going to talk to you about NIO. I want to go over the latest registration numbers, what really moved it today, and go over everything else you need to know. But first, make sure to hit that thumbs up. And with that, let's get right to it. So NIO went up 3.12%, 468 the high, 451 the low. Kind of low volume, so 23.9 million for that, 54.1 is the average. But then again, the market was closed early today at 1 o'clock in lieu of Christmas tomorrow, so Merry Christmas to those that celebrate. But generally this whole week, don't anticipate record high volumes. It's probably going to be relatively quiet, but beside the point though, you did have this right here. So only one transaction on the secondary market today above $100,000. Regrettably, it was a sell for $113,000. So you're still not seeing that level of buying coming from big money, which is unfortunate, but I think a lot of NIO investors are kind of used to it at this stage. But no official news associated to NIO, no SEC filings today, so it's kind of just reacting to the broader market, possibly, I guess, overreacting to NIO Day, causing it to go down, as well as registration numbers. So starting off, 7,500 is a grand total, 5,400 NIO, 2,100 Onvo. So at least it's moving in the right direction. Market seems to be very satisfied with this. And then shorts at the same time, you are seeing them obviously mitigate some risk. And so today they did return 1.76 million shares. 13.45% of the free float is being shorted. Works out to be 179.57 million shares overall are being shorted. So I've started to catch on. Whenever NIO does have relatively good registration numbers, the day prior, so Monday, shorts return, because yesterday, the market was reacting to NIO Day, obviously not favorably, but shorts did return quite a lot yesterday. And that's been more of a common kind of strategy. I just kind of had the epiphany right before this video. Every time NIO does have good registration numbers, shorts return the day prior, as though they know this information ahead of time. So it's kind of weird. I know a lot of individuals seem to think that NIO is not manipulated, but I think that, in my opinion, is kind of a telltale sign, unless it's just coincidence. But I don't think in the market there is any such thing as actual genuine coincidence. But what do I know, right? But again, shorts did return yesterday as well as today. Cost to borrow average is 4.19, and just generally you can kind of see shorts have been returning quite a lot. So hopefully that does continue, and then that way you'll be able to kind of maybe it'll get back to the 2022 levels where it was like 4% short interest. And it's kind of funny. I've brought this up in other videos in the past, but looking back over here, so 2020 short interest was relatively high, but back in 2021 and 2022, which arguably there was more risk associated to NIO at that stage, short interest was only 4%. So kind of backwards. As NIO does start to develop more and more, shorts seem to be just pouncing a lot more. So let me know your viewpoint on that. One thing to note though, with 2025 right around the corner, first half of 2025, that new SEC transparency rule will be in place. So that should be a good deterrent against shorts. So I've kind of talked on that in the past. So that could be coming right around the corner. But as far as options go, 3.18 million in calls, 1.07 million in puts. Like I said, associated to the common stock, today you weren't going to see record numbers, but 46% of all the options being done today were bearish in nature. Of the call options that are being purchased, you see a consensus for it to be above 550. So still a lot of optimism behind the scenes with NIO. And not only that though, you did see some random splurts of kind of this. So for instance, January 17th, 2025, you saw two abnormal transactions. So 9,000 at that $6 strike price, and then 21,000 at that 750. So again, that kind of stands out, as well as this. So for February 21st, 2025, 25,000 at that 6. So big money is definitely feeling like there is more upside. Of the bears that are kind of getting in and buying puts, they are anticipating for it to be sub roughly around that $4, $4.50. So you kind of have polar opposites, but I think given the level of optimism, it's kind of something you can't ignore. With it closing at $4.62, it is trading now between this R2 and this R1. So it was able to successfully close above this 461 point. So going forward, that's going to be a strong support. Then 469 and then 482 is going to be the next strong kind of target slash resistance points. So stay tuned for that come Thursday, I guess, with the market closed. No new analyst ratings. I would have anticipated at least one new one associated to NIO Day, but most likely that might come at the end of the week, especially with the holiday and everything like that. So kind of stay tuned for that. But NIO's technicals. So one thing I have really stressed to a lot of you is that ALMA. NIO needed to close today above that, and it did, luckily enough. So once again, I know NIO seems to be somewhat stagnant and largely going down, but with the technicals right now and it largely oversold, it actually might be ready to move higher. And of course, as I've brought up, with that 50, 100, and 200-day moving averages very, very close and tight together, with some good buying coming from big money, that could be that kind of push higher. And maybe the December actual sales numbers will be that kind of push, or that X catalyst to really push it higher than that. And then once it does get over that 523, so this super trend, this is where the algos will be really working in favor of NIO and pushing it higher. So I know there's a lot kind of betting against NIO, but the technicals are starting to look pretty good. The fact that shorts as well are starting to return, and just this random pockets of optimism associated to the options, it's something to take note of. So let me know your thoughts on all of that. Don't forget to hit that thumbs up. Merry Christmas again to those that celebrate, and all the fun jazz. Drink a lot, eat a lot, do what you need to do. And then one final thing, pop over to my Patreon. I give buy signals on stocks, options, and crypto. Many of them have been absolute bangers, so pop over there and take a look. With all that said, appreciate all of you watching.